Welcome to the first episode of 2024, the first episode of season 2, and I am so glad you're here. Today, we are taking a deep dive into buyer phases. You know I'm obsessed with them, but this time we're going to talk about buyer phase 1 and 2. That's awareness and consideration, but we're talking about them specifically during wave season. So let's go, y'all. Hey, y'all, and welcome to the Social Takeoff Podcast. I'm your host, Kelli Hay-Smith. If you have found yourself going down a scroll hole of Pinterest, Google, and YouTube looking for great ways to market your travel business, but you've found nothing but frustration there, you've landed in the right place. As a travel agent, what I loved most was marketing my business, and I succeeded in it. That's why I became a marketing expert for the travel industry. And now I spend my days teaching travel agents and agency owners how to market their business on social media and beyond. So if you're ready to grow your business using social media and other marketing tactics, buckle up and let's take off. If you need help building your content strategy and you want to do this hands-on with me in a classroom, listen up. This is the last week to join the January Content Creation Event Workshop at the Walt Disney World Resort, with 2 ways to enjoy, one being a VIP experience where you'll get a content creation resort crawl through some of the Walt Disney World resorts, followed by a character dinner, or just the classroom events. There's something for every budget. But this takes place later this month, January 24th through the 26th. So this is the last month to join. Make sure that you ask me on the Instagram DMs for more information or check out the link in the show notes. Y'all, it is 2024. I took the month of December off and actually meant to have this up and out by January 2nd, but life was nutty the last week of the year. If you follow me on Instagram, you know my dad was really sick. He's doing great now, but it meant that I needed another week to get rolling. So here I am, and we are starting out the year with none other than buyer phases. Y'all know my obsession with buyer phases, and that's because it can really change the game in the way that you market your business. And we're going to talk about buyer phases in wave season, and we're going to talk about them in 2 parts. This week, we're talking about awareness and consideration, how to use them during wave season. And next week, we're going to conquer conversion and loyalty, which are the most important buyer phases during wave season, but we have to get through awareness and consideration first. So we got to start there anyway. So let's start. Also, I should tell you also, is that how I need to say? Yeah, that's how I'm going to say that. I should tell you also that, hold on, I lost my train of thought. I still want to tell you about awareness and consideration because you can't get to conversion and consideration without them. So let me take a deep breath and start this not over again, but get out the words that I need to say. Or have you all missed me and my ramblings? I really hope you have. Anyway, we want to talk about awareness and consideration, and this is going to be for those that you did not capture in that pre-wave season. So back in the fall, I had an episode out about getting your socials ready for wave season, and they were really all about how to use pre-wave season and the buyer phases to get people ready for the conversion and loyalty phase during wave season. But this is going to be for the audience that you're capturing during wave season. And while they aren't going to be as primed and ready to go and buy as your audience that you captured beforehand, you actually can rush them through the process. I don't really mean rush them through the process, but you can take them through more quickly. So the first thing I want you to consider is any new audience that you're bringing in. I want you to assume that they are more ready to buy, book, or plan their vacation than someone was that you captured in October. Now, we know the reason that we have wave season. Also, I want to take a minute and let you know that it is okay to believe in wave season. Like, I feel like I need to give people permission for that because of things that I've seen floating around. Wave season is real. It's statistical. We know that statistics and data say that you will book more travel during wave season than you do the rest of the year. There are a lot of reasons for that. One is that the holidays are over and people are ready to start working for their new year. I mean, and then there is tax returns that come up during wave season. And there are things where people are maybe planning for this year and they may be planning for next year. But statistically and data show that most of the people book their vacations in the first 3 months of the year. You would be missing out to pretend like that doesn't exist because you can't create a strategy for something you're not acknowledging exists. So we are going to, in my realm, we are going to acknowledge that wave season does exist. And it doesn't mean that you can't book travel throughout the year. It doesn't mean that you won't book as much travel throughout the year. However, you know that your audience is more apt to be ready to convert during wave season than any other time of the year. And we're going to create marketing that acknowledges that fact, that builds upon that fact, and grow from it. Okay? All right. I just had to get that one off my chest. That's a soapbox that I feel like I needed to stand on for a minute. Okay. So, I want you to understand that the audience that you brought in October needed to be more warmed up, not just to you and your service, because that is going to be equal to the audience that you bring in now. However, because more people book during wave season than October, again, when you're going into the holiday season, people are thinking about completely different things. Unless they are booking holiday travel or they're going to give that as a gift, they probably weren't thinking about booking their trip in October, November, or December. But as we get further away from New Year's, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I need to book for this summer. I need to book for this fall. I may even need to be booking for spring break. So I'm ready to go. Okay. So while the lead still needs to be warmed up to your service, you are catching them in a time where they are more likely to be ready to buy now than the audience that you captured in October. So what that means is, while in October they were saving posts and thinking about, oh yeah, I got to get to that eventually, they are more in I don't want to say the word rush because I feel like I've used that word a lot. And here we are like getting to literally again, but they are more primed to be ready to go ahead and make the move on that vacation than they would have been if you brought them in then. So the type of content that you are wanting to create, they are probably right now searching for with the idea of buying specific destinations. So we have, when it comes to that awareness content, that's the first thing we're going to be talking about is awareness content. Destination-based content is going to be very important for awareness. Now, what does that mean? Awareness content, the goal of awareness content is eyeballs. It is reach. And while I don't want you to measure the success of your business based on reach, it's not even a metric that I feel like you need to be hounding in on, other than you need to, if it drops off significantly, we need to take a look at why and what happened. But you do need to create awareness content, and the goal of awareness content is eyes. It is bringing people, making people aware that you exist. So that means that we are going to be creating content using things like trending audio. Okay. So if we're going to bring them in through awareness content, we can do this with like carousel posts. We can do this with trending audio. We can do this with hashtag strategy and keyword strategy, both in our captions and when we're using reels with our voice in our words. So we want to make sure that we are saying what we're talking about. For awareness, we are going to get real specific with what we're talking about. Cruises, Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, Icon of the Seas. So, okay, this is going to be a mix. This next sentiment that I'm going to be talking about is going to be a mix between um, awareness and consideration. However, when we're talking about keywords, this has to be mentioned. So I watched the Golden Globes last night. I only watched the Golden Globes once. I mean, I only watched the Golden Globes through Taylor's nomination. She didn't get the award. That's okay. I still wanted to watch her, see what she was doing. And that was probably like the first hour and a half. Maybe not even that long. Maybe just an hour and 15. Anyway, every single time they went to a commercial, there was at least one destination specific vacation destination specific commercial that aired. I don't watch live TV very much. Sports, the Today Show, and then anything that is covering Taylor Swift, true story. It's pretty much all I watch. And then actually, I guess we're getting TV shows back like next week. So I will watch a little bit more. But usually I watch it on recorded, so I'm fast forwarding through it. So I don't really pay attention to what commercials are airing. But I did yesterday. This is a really long story. I did not mean it to go this way. Anyway, I did yesterday. And I actually was laying down with B, my 6-year-old, and it came to my head because it was a sandals commercial that had finally aired. And so I was like, oh my gosh, there has been a specific vendor or supplier commercial every single commercial break. There was a very long one for Walt Disney World. There was one for Universal Orlando. There was an Icon of the Seas commercial, and there was a sandals commercial that I had seen. So every single time they went to commercial break, there was a destination specific commercial. Why do you think they're doing that? They know it's wave season 2. Okay? Their target audience is that millennial-ish female demographic who is watching the Golden Globes. I watched the Kansas City game before that. The commercials were not there. So they were hitting their target audience during the Golden Globes. And it was these very destination-specific things. Now, the reason I'm saying that is they are marketing for you. You don't have to sell the destination specifically. However, utilizing the keywords, because now that all those women have seen that, they are going to go type those specific things in the search bar. And trust me, I realize that Disney World doesn't need to be like, they didn't need a commercial to see Disney World or Universal to type it in the search bar. However, sandals, Icon of the Seas, they may be now typing that into the search bar when they weren't before. So my point is, the suppliers are helping you out with keyword research or because they are putting it out there, and now the people are going to be more specific about the keywords they're typing in because they're seeing that. The way that you can utilize that for your benefit are to use those keywords that people are now typing because the suppliers are marketing it to them. Again, sandals was marketed. Icon of the Seas was marketed. Of course, Royal Caribbean plays into that. But so it got real specific with Icon of the Seas because it's getting ready to go on its inaugural voyage, right? So anyway, those things are really important for you to consider when it comes to awareness because, again, I'm going to repeat myself. The way that we can get more eyeballs on our content in a very organic manner are hashtag and keyword research or hashtag and keyword strategy. Okay. Trending audios, engagement, understanding who our ideal client is and going out and engaging with them, which becomes extremely important during wave season because you are putting yourself in front of their faces. So those are our best 3 ways to get organic style content for awareness. More eyeballs on our content. So that is one thing. Another thing that we want to do is create awareness, create content that is shareable. Now, with this awareness content, I want you to stay more generic. So people know they have been seeing sandals. Now they're like, yeah, let's go to sandals this summer. It's going to be our 20th wedding anniversary. That's going to be my 20th wedding anniversary. Anyway, let's go to sandals this summer for our 20th wedding anniversary. And so they're typing sandals. Okay. So I'm going to use that as keywords, but I could create a reel to a trending audio that are 3 things you need to know about sandals resorts, or 3 sandals resorts you need to know about. There I'm using the specific keywords that people may be searching for, but also I'm keeping it generic. I'm hitting the people who want to go there because they're typing that in. They're looking at those things, but I'm keeping it short. I want to do as much as I can to get that content in front of people. If my goal for that piece of content is awareness, I am going to do everything I can to please the algorithm. Now, I am not creating content for the algorithm. It is still strategic. I'm not creating sandals content oops, that was squeaky, sorry. I'm not creating sandals content if I don't want to book sandals resorts. If that's not my goal for wave season, I'm not doing that. But once I create or choose the type of content that I'm going to create for my goals, I am going to do things when it comes to awareness content that please the algorithm, so it's going to get pushed. I'm going to keep those reels under 8 seconds. I am going to see if I can do it on a loop. I'm going to put more information in the caption than on the reel itself, so that if they want to see it, they're going to have to read the caption, which is going to keep the reel playing in the background, which is going to keep up my watch time. All of those things are important. Hashtags, again, keyword strategy, we've already gone over. Hashtags are real simple. You're going to keep them between 15,000 and 750,000 posts. And you're going to target hashtags people are actually looking for, not hashtag travel agent. Okay. And then I'm going to engage. I'm going to find out who my ideal client is. Who do I want to target? And what are they using in their posts? So let's say that my target is a millennial mom. Hashtag Starbucks is a great idea for what they're using. Hashtag target moms, stay-at-home moms, overwhelm moms, all of those things. Think about what hashtags they are putting on their posts. Search those hashtags and go find posts of clients or of ideal clients of yours. Engage in their content. Okay. Those are 3 ways. Now let's go to the shares, the tagging and the shares. Those are other ways to get more eyeballs, because share is number one, it's a call to action that is going to help give you more eyeballs, but you can't just tell them to share it. You have to create content they want to share. So it's got to be something that makes them chuckle. Again, with Taylor Swift, I'm going to bring it up. Today, I created a post out of the Taylor Swift meme from the Golden Globes yesterday. It was a picture of her when they made the joke about the NFL showing her so many times, and she definitely had a face that she gave them. And so creating that into a meme, like you could totally make that into a meme that said, maybe I'll even do this for you guys and give it to you in my stories that you can share. Let me think of a cute way to say something, but it would be something to the effect of when, it's like this, I don't know, when something that would aggravate your ideal client. You do not want here, first off, when you're creating memes, you're posting GIFs, don't put something that would insult your ideal client and make another travel agent laugh. When my best friend books their trip or when my Facebook friend books their trip by themselves and not with me. Like, don't do that. That's insulting to the ideal client, and it may only resonate with another travel agent. That's not who you want to share your stuff. You want your ideal client to share your stuff. So what would feel right for them? What would make them want to share something? So when winter break is over and you're ready to book a trip, or when winter break is over and you deserve a vacation, something to that effect. When winter break is over and your husband says no to a girl's cruise, that type of something like that makes them want to share. That's going to help you get eyeballs on their stuff. Okay. Let's talk about, and then you can also use those 2 calls to action, right? You can use the call to action of share this with your friends or tag your girlfriend below. Like if we're doing the one and your husband say no to a girl's cruise or something, tag your girlfriends who would be on a cruise with you below. And they're going to tag their girlfriends. It's good for reach. That's the call to action that we're using. Okay. Now, moving on past that, Another call to action for awareness is simply double tap or likes. Again, we are not going to measure the success of our content by how many likes it got. However, for awareness, a lot of likes, especially quickly, or a high watch time is going to resonate in a higher engagement, which is going to resonate in getting your post pushed to more people. And asking someone to double tap or like a post is more likely to happen than a comment because they have to stop, take more time, whatever. But if you make them chuckle and they hit double tap and they give you a like, that is going to help that awareness content. So when you are creating awareness content, especially during wave season, you want to keep it semi-generic. You still want to add your service ad, of course, in the caption, but it should be very minimal, 1 or 2 sentences. And you're going to ask them to do simple things. Share it because it made them chuckle, or it resonated with them, it was relatable, or it's an excellent like generic travel tip that they love, or an Amazon find type thing, things like that that would resonate with the masses, because essentially awareness is the masses, it's the top of the funnel, and then we're going to walk into consideration, which is like narrowing the funnel down. But the more people that watch it through, the more content, the more it's going to get pushed out to other people. Therefore, it's helping that eyeball scenario. And you're remembering that while they aren't warmed up to booking with you yet, you have them in a spot where they are ready to book. So you can walk them through this journey quicker than when you pulled them in at the beginning. Okay? That's awareness. Let's talk about consideration. So, consideration during wave season is essential because you want to keep the awareness content to somewhat of a minimum, because while you want to bring people in, you don't want them to simply come in for tips and tricks because now they're booking their vacation. They've booked it on their own. Now they found you and we're going to just save all of this because I am now ready to, I'm going to save all these amazing tips that she's giving me because I've already booked my trip. So awareness has to be the least-ish, I don't know how else to say that, but you're going to have your content for these buyer phases during wave season. The 2 least types of content, or the 2 smallest buyer phases, are going to be awareness and loyalty. Loyalty is always the least on social media, but awareness is going to be less during wave season because that is when because you want to walk them through more of the consideration. Consideration during wave season has to be extremely service heavy. They have to understand why you are doing what you are doing, for who you're doing it for. No, let me start over. They have to understand what you are doing, who you are doing it for, and why you are doing it. So some ways that we can do this, obviously we've got to create content for our profile feeds and all of those pieces that are consideration based. We have to create content that talks about our service. 5 things we do for clients, 5 things, all of the pieces that are service heavy. What I would always recommend for my clients, things that we are literally flat out saying for my clients, what I do for my clients, explaining services. Okay. But we have to put it in a way that is somewhat valuable for everyone, because that's consideration. And then conversion would be the flat out, I can do this for you too. So when it comes to consideration, we are strongly speaking about our service and what it does for our clients. But obviously we're doing it on our profiles. But where we can get really, really strong results during wave season with consideration content is in our stories and our lives. Stories, we should be behind the scenes all the time during wave season, showing what we're doing. Did you get a quote request from someone? Go on your stories and talk about what you're going to do next, what that process looks like. Are you building a proposal for someone? Go live and talk about, go live and talk about what you're doing to build that proposal and how you will present it to the client. Are you building an itinerary? Are you making a deposit? Are you making a modification, a change, a price monitoring? Did a promotion just drop? And you're fixing that for your clients. Conversion is where you're talking about the promotion, and we're going to go over that. But we can also use promotions that drop as consideration content when we are going in and price monitoring that for a client. So Disney drops the free dining promo. Those clients that were already booked and you went in and you changed their package pricing and they saved money, that's consideration client content, because you are explaining to them what you are doing for the client and they are understanding better what working with you looks like. Okay? So all of that is consideration content and all of that has to be strong. So what would your priorities of consideration content be? Obviously, you're creating content for your grid, your profile, your pages, whatever you want to call it, that goes over that service-based content. The five things I have fixed recently for my clients, or 5 crises I handled in 2023 for my clients. 3 things that I have modified already this year for my clients. The 5 things I always make sure my clients know before they leave. All of those things are consideration content, and you want to make sure you have that. But you also want to prioritize your stories and live video, because seeing your face and hearing your voice is the fastest way for them to be walked through the know, like, and trust factor. When they can see your face and hear your voice, they are more likely to know you, like you, and trust you. And that needs to be done quickly up front. So during wave season, your stories should never be empty. During wave season, you should be doing a live at least once a month. If you have time and you can make it happen, do one once a week. Okay? It's a great way to go about it. Now let's talk about other places real quick to go into consideration content and awareness content. A couple other things other than just your regular social media. Number one, when it comes to awareness content, cheat a little bit. So what do I mean by cheat just a little bit? I mean, put some money in search and ads. Essentially, putting some money in search could be putting some money on YouTube or Pinterest or Google when it comes to ads, and then Facebook or Instagram ads. That is going to guarantee you more eyeballs. But keep that content. The purpose of that content should be leading them to the next step of nurture. So either getting them on your email list through a freebie, make sure that your opt-in is something that is going to help them at the beginning of their journey, not the end. Essentially, don't worry about packing lists. Once they need a packing list, they're already booked. You want to do something like 3 things to get started with your vacation budget, things like that, okay? No, and then or get them into your Facebook group, get them onto your email list. So one of those 3 things that you're trying to do, lead in or opt in, which would take them to your email list or Facebook group, really 2 of the things. That is the place that's going to help you get the more eyeballs. And then you're putting them further into that funnel where you're going to put more consideration content and then conversion content as it goes down the line. Okay. Another thing that you can do inside that awareness is have them join your close friends, turn on post notifications, and those like teeter from awareness to consideration, but it's right there in the middle. Now for consideration, and the place that you need to be focusing other than those main pages is inside your private Facebook group and your email list. Your email list should be getting a lot of information about your service, what it looks like to work with you. Maybe that looks like you do a YouTube video or something to that effect, and that goes out to your email list of what it looks like to work with you, start to finish. Facebook group, same thing. So really explaining your services in the funnel And again, that is on your email list and in your Facebook group. I kept it under 30 minutes. That was the goal. I've been reading and doing all of my metric information here on podcasts, and I know that I get the most listen all the way through when I keep it under 30 minutes. So here I am, and I did. But this was part 1. Come back next week for part 2 when we talk about buyer phases, conversion, and loyalty inside wave season. I hope. Call to action, Kelli. Let me practice what I preach, right? Y'all jump on into my DMs on Instagram this week and let me know what you thought about this and what questions you have about awareness and consideration during wave season. And I want to tally. I want to know how many trips you're booking during wave season and what of these strategies you are using. Y'all have a great rest of your week and come back here next Tuesday for more. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Social Takeoff Podcast. I'm so glad you were here. Make sure you're following along on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and pretty much anywhere else. You can find me at Kelli Hayes Smith everywhere there's social. And make sure you leave us a review. That's one way that we get to bring you more content each week. And we'll see you back here next Tuesday for an all-new episode of the Social Takeoff Podcast.